When the ocean didn't care. California has a talent for lying without words. It lies with blue skies, with sunsets that look like forgiveness, with the ocean endlessly calm, endlessly beautiful, pretending that nothing bad can survive near it. But California doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care if you're poor. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you love someone enough to destroy yourself trying to protect them. Ethan Walker learned this slowly, the way people usually do, not all at once, but piece by piece, until there was nothing left to ignore. He was 29 years old and already felt like life had passed him by. Every morning started the same way. The alarm rang at 5:12 a.m. Not 5 o'clock. Not 5:30. 5:12. Because that was the exact minute he needed to wake up to catch the bus. Then the second bus. Then walk 3 blocks to the warehouse where the HVAC company stored its equipment. The apartment was quiet at that hour. Too quiet. The kind of silence that made thoughts louder. Ethan lay in bed for a few seconds, staring at the ceiling fan above him. It clicked every time it spun, like it was counting down something important. He didn't stretch. He didn't yawn. He checked his phone. 3 missed calls. 2 emails from loan services. 1 message marked final notice. He closed his eyes. This was his life now. Numbers chasing him. Letters that felt heavier than bricks. A future that stayed just out of reach, no matter how hard he worked. The apartment in Long Beach was small. 1 bedroom. Thin walls. Old carpet that smelled like every tenant who had given up before him. The rent had gone up again. Everything always went up, except pay. Ethan showered quickly, pulling on work clothes, still damp from being washed too late the night before. He ate a granola bar standing by the sink because he'd stopped using the table months ago. It felt pointless to sit. He left before sunrise. Outside, California looked innocent. The sky was pale blue. Palm trees stood tall, like they were proud of something. A jogger passed him, headphones in, smiling, unaware of the weight Ethan carried inside his chest. The bus arrived late. It always did. At work, people complained. This unit isn't cold enough. It's still making noise. I paid too much for this place to be uncomfortable. Ethan nodded, apologized, fixed what he could. He never told them he didn't have air conditioning at home, or that some nights he woke up soaked in sweat, dreaming about bills chasing him down long hallways. At 3:47 p.m., his supervisor told him to head to a coffee shop near the beach. AC's been down for days, the man said. Customers are angry. Ethan drove the company van toward the ocean. That was where everything changed. The coffee shop was small, but bright. Sunlight poured through large windows, bouncing off white walls and blue chairs. It smelled like espresso and cinnamon, like a life that didn't belong to him. And then he saw her. She stood behind the counter, wiping it down with slow, tired movements. Dark hair pulled back loosely, a few strands falling into her face. Her eyes were focused, serious, but when she looked up and saw him, something softened. "You here for the AC?" she asked. Ethan nodded. "Yeah, sorry it took so long." She smiled faintly. "We've survived worse." That sentence stayed with him. While he worked on the unit, sweat dripping down his neck, she watched from a distance. Not in a suspicious way, in a curious one. She brought him water, Then coffee. On the house, she said. I don't think your boss would like that. She shrugged. My boss isn't the one fixing the air. They talked while he worked. About the heat. About how tourists complained too much. About how the ocean looked peaceful, but felt cold when you touched it. What do you do when you're not fixing broken things? She asked. Ethan hesitated. Mostly worry. She laughed quietly. Not mockingly, understandingly. Same. Her name was Lena Morales. She was 27 and already felt responsible for the world. Lena didn't believe in happy endings. She believed in surviving. Her parents had died when she was 20. One second, her phone was silent. The next, it was ringing with news that split her life into before and after. She became a parent overnight. Her brother Mateo was 14 then. Angry, lost, terrified. Lena dropped out of college, took 2 jobs, signed papers she barely understood. Credit cards, loans, anything that would keep the lights on. People told her she was strong. She didn't feel strong. She felt tired. Meeting Ethan felt different. Not exciting. Not dramatic. Comfortable. They exchanged numbers. Their first date wasn't really a date. It was coffee after her shift. Then another. Then walking along the beach with no destination. They talked about debt like it was weather. I owe more than I make, Ethan admitted. Lena nodded. Me too. There was no shame, just truth. Love crept in quietly. It showed up when Ethan cooked cheap pasta and apologized for it. It showed up when Lena fell asleep on his chest after a double shift. It showed up when they sat in silence and didn't feel lonely. When Ethan stayed the night for the first time, the heater didn't work. They laughed, wrapped in one blanket, teeth chattering. Romantic, Ethan joked. Lena smiled. Real. That was enough. Reality, however, didn't slow down. Ethan's car broke down on the freeway one morning. Smoke poured from the hood. Horns blared behind him. The repair cost more than his savings. Without the car, he missed work. Without work, the panic returned. Bills stacked up on the kitchen counter like threats. The eviction notice arrived quietly. 3 days late. 3 days. Lena read it twice, then sat down slowly. Ethan felt something inside him crack. I'll fix it, he said. I promise. That's when desperation entered the room. At the grocery store, a man mentioned fast cash. No credit check, no waiting, just money. Ethan knew it was wrong, but fear is louder than wisdom. He signed. At first, everything felt lighter. They paid rent, fixed the car, bought groceries without calculating every item. Lena laughed more. Then the calls started. Interest multiplied. Deadlines shortened. Voices hardened. Ethan stopped sleeping. He lied. I'm fine, he said. One night, he didn't come home. Lena waited. Midnight. 2 a.m. 4. Her hands shook as she called hospitals. When Ethan finally arrived at dawn, his face was bruised. The loan wasn't just money. It was control. Lena wanted to scream. Instead, she held him. They sold almost everything. Moved away from the ocean. Ethan worked 3 jobs. Lena enrolled in community college. They were exhausted, broke, scared. Then Mateo got sick. Emergency surgery. Another bill. Ethan collapsed in the hospital hallway. "I can't do this," he whispered. Lena held him tighter. "You already are." Years passed. Slowly, painfully, things changed. Not magically, earned. Ethan got promoted. Lena received a scholarship. They paid off debt, one piece at a time. They returned to the beach years later. The ocean was still indifferent, but they weren't. Ethan took Lena's hand. "We didn't win," he said. "We survived. And sometimes, that's the greatest love story of all."